What a comparison we have for you guys today. This is a Friday fan request. George Peterson and Lee Priest with a question mark. Well, I hope this answers your question. Yes, I can do the matchup, and actually, I'm quite excited about it. Could Lee Priest defeat a 212 athlete, a high-ranked, a winning 212 athlete today? Well, yes. Short answer. With an if this was the only pose that we were going to judge. Actually, George giving him a run for his money, actually defeating him on the torso, maybe the legs. Hard to get the sizes correctly, guys. I think I might have even made George a little bit too big. Hard to say, really. He's bending at the knees quite substantially. Lee Priest, he stood pretty tall in his poses. You'll notice on the stage, he was about the same height as a Sean Ray. Very close, but he was actually a couple inches shorter than Sean Ray. He held his legs pretty straight, as you can see here. It's the arm dominance, guys, whether it be the biceps, triceps, or my goodness, my soul, the forearms of Lee Priest, definitely getting an edge. Most certainly, in my opinion. But, guys, look at those abs. Lats, V-taper. George Peterson, he is a beast. Front lat spread. Now, you kind of take the arms out of the equation. Lee Priest has that 90s condition, that really thin skin. Must have been the diuretics that were going around. Actually, they just really trained hard. They dieted really hard. It was the 90s, guys. They were, 90s bodybuilders. Very similar conditioning, though, at the end of the day. But that lat spread, that size of George Peterson, that upper body, it's going to be too much, I think. But it is a little bit unfair. The picture quality for Lee Priest from 97, not the best. Turn to the side for the side chest. Wow, guys, look at Lee Priest. And again, hard to get the sizes exactly correct, but hey, if I was to make Lee Priest any smaller here, you could see his leg development. His legs would have been too short, you know what I'm saying? And he is a fairly short-legged individual, while George Peterson, a long-legged man, a very muscular, both of them. But they're definitely built differently, for sure, structurally speaking. Let's go to the side tricep. And I was going to give an edge to Lee, I think. And we'll say both side shots. Even though George Peterson, he is unbeatable here as far as the waistline and chest. Lee Priest, not without his charms. But George Peterson, everything but the tricep, I guess you could say. Some of the best stuff you're ever going to see in a side tricep pose. When you're looking just at the actual muscle itself, the tricep, Lee Priest seems to have a little bit more striations. It's a good matchup, guys. It's a very good matchup. Every pose, very close. Let's go to the back development and see if we can get any ground here. And Lee Priest, gosh darn it, not the best picture quality. Turn to the side, for sure, tilted thusly. You can't get the whole silhouette, but we can make hypotheses proper. And I would give this one to George. Similar condition, Lee winning in the calves, but George, he's going to be wider, even if you take that tilt of the camera into consideration. Lee, never that bad in this pose, actually pretty darn good, underrated. Lee Priest didn't have a bad back, just because you don't see all these striated glutes everywhere, but I don't see them too much for George Peterson as well. Rear double bicep. Now you could look at this one of two ways. George has a good back development, a good clean, neat shot here, lat insertions, perfect. But then Lee Priest, he's probably just as good as condition when you'd actually look at the glutes, to be honest with you. The hamstrings, he's pretty diced. And think about it, guys. These are very old pictures, so you're not going to get everything exactly clear. Look at the traps on Lee Priest. You can definitely tell he was a power lifter in the gym. I don't know if he was ever a competitive power lifter, but my goodness, he was doing 300-pound curl. He did a 300-pound curl. And you can see that with those arms, guys. And when you isolate the arms in this, I would have no problem, not even a little problem, giving this one to Lee Priest. My goodness, guys. No wonder he is on all those videos, all those lists, best arms of all time. It's not only the biceps, triceps, the delts, and the almighty forearms. Wow, a very rare trait to have very noticeable forearms in bodybuilding. Let's go to the ab and thigh, and both of these gentlemen were featured on my best ab and thigh video, best ab and thigh of all time. And you know what? Lee Priest won the video, but I don't think I ever did the comparison between these two. Or Lee Priest didn't win the video. He won the overall. In my opinion, he had the best ab and thigh of all time. And I gotta say, George giving him a run for his money. A little bit better in the V-taper. Lee maybe a little bit more diced in the ab department. And when I'm giving Lee an edge in every pose, guys, it's not as if to say he's defeating George Peterson. This one could have went either way. I just find Lee Priest, yes, he's a little shorter, a little stockier, and George a little longer and a little lankier. So whatever way you're going to look at it. Finish this one off the most muscular, and this one kind of says it all. Lee Priest has a slight edge in conditioning, at least as far as the front, maybe the side. When you turn to the back, I guess George might have had a slightly more striated glutes, but I don't think a whole lot more. But you can see from the front, guys, Lee Priest, just a beast. And this is a crab position, most muscular, versus a hands clasp, so hard to really judge this one. Close little matchup, guys, and this one was a good one, I have to say, so bravo for the matchmaker. Don't recall his name, but who was at the start. Here's your winner of this little matchup, Lee Priest. He could very well be a 212 champion. Anyway, guys, it's hard to speculate because it's not going to happen. He had his time. He competed in the 90s, and that's when he did compete, so no sense of really comparing him with today's athlete. Oh, who am I kidding? I obsess over the sport so much that I just obsess over it, and I have to find out. I have to see if he was every bit as good as these guys nowadays. And I'm sure it even bothers a guy like Lee Priest to think, what the heck is he doing his stupid comparison for? Who cares? I competed in the 1990s. Checking the nails, mate. Anyway, a little bit overzealous there for the end of the video. But anyway, guys, Lee Priest, he's awesome, and we obsess over the sport. We like him more than he probably likes himself. Hit thumbs up on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram. Have a great day.